Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I am your Mrs. the Ceremony, Lady Nyca, in with a little educational video for you guys. I appreciate people who have subscribed to this channel, which is the Lady Reloaded. It is the sister channel of the Lady Nyca channel, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys for subscribing and for coming over and viewing some of my videos over here. Now, today I wanted to answer a question. I've answered it several times, but today I thought while I had a couple of free minutes, I would come over to the Lady Reloaded and sprinkle some love and education on my loungers over here. Now, y'all hear me say every month date with Ben. In fact, I have my date with Ben actually coming up this Thursday. So I said, today would be a great day to explain once again to all the new folks who do not quite understand what date with Ben actually is and what that means. I get people sometimes when I say my date with Ben, child, they be talking about, I hope you had a good time. Child, it is not, Ben is not a man, okay? My man name ain't Ben. Benlysta is what Ben means. And what is Benlysta? It's an autoimmune suppressive drug that is used in lupus treatments, okay? Benlysta is actually the first FDA approved medication specifically designed for the treatment of lupus. Benlysta targets specific immune cells rather than the blanket approach of other therapies, which suppress the entire immune system. Okay. When I have my date with Ben, I go in, they check, my vitals, they do my blood pressure to make sure that it is at the right place, and they check my weight to give me consultations about how I need to work on weight issues and things of that nature. Even though some of the medications that I take does cause me to gain weight, that's why you'll see my weight go up and down. Sometimes that depends on if there has been an increase in certain medicines. But what Benlysta actually does is, like I said, it targets certain tissues. It targets certain areas instead of just suppressing my entire immune system, which would not be a good thing for me. It targets certain ones that need to be suppressed to keep the lupus inactive as much as possible. So I go in, I have my vitals done, I take a baby aspirin that they provide for me, and they give me a Benadryl. Okay. Once I receive that, we wait about 15 minutes, and then they come and do an IV because Benlysta is given to me intravenously. So they give me an IV of Benlysta, right? I sit there for an hour and a half. That's what it takes. The list of treatments actually take 1 hour, but you stay an extra 30 minutes in recovery. So to make sure you do not have any side effects that could be possibly life-threatening to you, because Benlysta is a very powerful drug, and I could pass out. I could go into a seizure, anything. I could actually go into cardiac arrest because I am a heart patient as well. So you stay, the entire procedure takes about an hour to an hour and a half. And if anything is off scale or is off putting to my doctors, then they may actually have me stay overnight for observations to make sure that once I'm released, I won't have any episodes. Okay. So that's why sometimes I go in, and I'm always prepared to possibly be admitted for observations. Okay. It could be anything. The Benlysta might throw my blood pressure up, or it may drop it too low. Of course, they're not going to allow me to go home because that situation puts me in jeopardy, right? So they're going to watch me. And the longest I've ever had to stay after in Benlysta infusion is, because that's what we call it, an infusion. The longest I've ever had to stay was 2 days. And that's because once they got my blood pressure stabilized, it dropped again. And that was it dropped so low that it was potential danger to my well-being. So they kept me for 2 days. Okay. Now, do I have side effects from Benlysta? Benlysta does cause side effects. It can cause you to have nausea, diarrhea, fever, stuffy or runny nose, sore throat, persistent cough, trouble sleeping, leg or arm pain, depression, headache, pain, redness, itching, swelling at the site of the injection. And I can honestly say, in the 5, 6, 7 years I've been on, it's actually been, I think, about 7 now. The 7 years I have been on it, I've experienced every last one of those one of those side effects. Okay. And the one that I definitely have each month, I do have stuffy. I have stuffy and runny noses every month. I do catch a fever sometimes. I do have a persistent cough. I do have trouble sleeping, hence why they have put me on medications to help me sleep. So when I say I'm gone at night and I'm sleep, bitch, that I'm not lying. I'm not sitting up in nobody's bushes. I take medications to put me to sleep because if I don't, I'll be up for days, and that will cause stress on my body, which will eventually lead to what? A flare up. Okay, so I do have those. Sometimes I have pain in the injection site. I have that often. Um, and a headache. So each month when I go for the infusion, aka date with Ben, I know what I'm gonna have to deal with. And some days it's just that particular day I have all those symptoms. And the next day I come back and you guys see me and I may not have high energy, but give it a couple of days, because once that infusion, that medication gets in my body, I experience a high. And some of y'all have seen it. I have come down here right after being maybe a day or so later, and I'm just full of energy. I'm just a ball of energy. I don't want to do nothing but go, 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 go. That's because the medication is working in my favor in that moment. Sometimes I take the medication and it takes me almost a week before I can actually feel at subpar energy. Sometimes I'm low energy because the Balinsta sometimes does not take, and I it doesn't take immediately, and I'm forcing myself. And those are the times where you guys may say to me, it seems like something off with you. No, it's just my medication ain't kicked in, girl. It ain't kicked in. And then sometimes I come back a day or so later and I'm just jumping up, jumping up, jumping up, jumping up, jumping up you know so that is what I mean when I say that I have my date with Ben. Hair loss. Remember, I told you guys in previous videos, I do sometimes suffer hair loss. It's a rare side effect of being listed, but it happens. What happens is my hair, I like to keep it in a cornrow because it will get very dry, very brittle, and it don't matter how much I'm putting moisture on it, it'll break off. So hence why I love me old nasty piece of Bernice, okay? Um, In the event of a serious hypersensitive reaction to Benlysta, I will be immediately taken off of it. My doctor does monitor it very, very carefully. I have to take a series of Girl, I ain't even tell y'all about that part. Every other month, just to make sure that my kidneys are not, a lot of protein is not in my kidneys and stuff like that. I have to actually go to labs and they will fill up about 6 or 7 of them damn bottles and they're testing me for everything. They testing for everything. They making sure that the white blood cells are where they need to be. The red blood cells are where they need to be. They're checking my kidneys, my lungs. They do a series of tests on me and they do them often to make sure that Ben Lister hasn't gone from being a lifesaver to something that could potentially damage me and take me out. So I get a lot of laughs a lot, and I have for years. Let me see what else I want to share with you guys because I have a list of things I wanted to share. Benlysta is covered through my insurance. The type of treatment that I get, if it was not for the fact that I have adequate insurance, and this is no dig at anybody else, but Medicaid will only do so much for you. So I don't have Medicaid. I have other insurances that work in conjunction. And when there's an opportunity that they can take some of the stress of co-pays off of me through the Medicaid program, they have done that before. But most of the times they actually have to use my other two forms of insurance that I have been blessed to have. Okay. I also suffer from anemia. Anemia makes it made me tired. Um, I constantly have to have my iron levels, and sometimes I've had injections of iron because it does affect me. And one of the main things about my anemia, you'll notice that it's in a problem with it, or you can just notice it without seeing me do it, is the ice addiction and my gums becoming very, very pink. Now, I know that a lot of people think that my gums should be dark as a motherfucker. And in a normal body, I would be dark. But considering the fact I have anemia and I take a whole lot of medications, that is part why the gums. It ain't got nothing to do with no dentures or nothing like that. But I'm gonna be honest with y'all. If I had dentures, I wouldn't. What difference does it make? It wouldn't really make a difference. The most important thing to me was that I saw a problem. I saw the problem getting worse and I did something about it. And whether it's complimentary in your eyes or not, it's what I chose to do for me. So I will never entertain conversations about what's inside of my mouth because it really doesn't matter. And to be honest with you, if I had some pull-outs, it wouldn't be an issue either. Me nor my man would have a problem with that because the 6 or 7 months that I walked around bald mouth, as I allowed my gums to settle and heal, he had a problem with it, bitch. And me neither. You do what you have to do for your own benefit. A lot of y'all notice that from time to time you'll see me come live with my glasses on. That is because I use Plaquenil. That is another lupus medication that is given and was FDA approved. See, I got diagnosed with lupus back when you there wasn't many drugs on the market because lupus was still very, very much so unknown. 20 plus years later, things have developed. Technology has advanced. There have been more options on the out in the market for people who are diagnosed with lupus as well as other autoimmune deficiencies. You see, when I got my diagnosis, it was just Plaquenil that was available. That was the primary drug that I had to endure, and I was warned that prolonged use of Plaquenil could eventually affect my vision. And if I did not keep up my optometrist appointments, it could lead to me going blind. So, 15 plus years into the game, taking this same medication, 400 milligrams every single day, yeah, it's helping fight the lupus off, but it's also affecting my eyes. And now it has become to the point where I needed corrective lenses in order to be able to see because my doctors are not taking me off of the medication. If it appears in a year from now that by me wearing the glasses has not kind of alleviated some of the problems, then I'll be slowly weaned off of it. At least the doses will decrease. I'm not gonna ever probably get off of it but it will get to a point where I'm not taking 400 milligrams per day, of that medication. Um, Lupus ain't nothing to play with. Other autoimmune deficiencies that I've seen other women speak about on their channels and in the comments, it's nothing to play with. And sometimes it takes a lot of, see, people think my strength comes from adversities outside of medical shit. And I agree, some of it does, but a lot of it, of my strength that is inside of me, came from what I had to endure being diagnosed with lupus and then having to deal with how my body changed. I told you guys when I first got diagnosed, it was so bad. I was in such a bad state. My kidneys were being compromised at that point, and I was placed on 60 milligrams of steroid. And in less than 2 months, I gained 60 pounds. And it's like up and down, up and down. And then I used to have a lot of flare ups because of the weight. Doctor said, let me wean you off of these steroids. When they wean me off, well, you wean me off the medication, but I'm still chubby than a motherfucker. And at that point, when I was being weaned off, is where VS came into my life. And VS, we had conversations about lupus, but she must have done her own personal research because she did start saying, well, let's do a fruit and veggie diet. And she was like, I'm gonna do it with you. And that's when a lot of you saw that I had a significant weight loss. Okay. And that was all good. And I'll forever be grateful to her for that. See, a lot of people think that the the respect comes from that. Yeah, we had our thing down here on YouTube, but this is YouTube. This woman cared enough about me to actually start a fruit and veggie diet and kind of push me toward staying on task with that because she cared enough about my well-being. So despite what she may have done on YouTube, I got to see a different side of her, and that is the side of her that I still respect very much so today. And I honor her for that. I don't have anything to do with the other shit that she was involved in, but for me, that was a good side of her. That for her to give a damn about a virtual stranger enough to go on a fruit and veggie diet just to keep me on task with the fruit and veggie diet. She never came out here and said none of that shit. She just made y'all think that that's what she was doing. But I knew that was a target toward me to help me because she was smarter than what a lot of people gave her credit for. And she did have some compassion for people. Okay. So y'all saw me lose the weight. And I now today it's still a struggle because right after she left off of the platform, they found minerals and stuff like that, a lot of protein in my kidneys, so they immediately put me back on there. And the goal is to keep my kidneys functioning as much as as they possibly can, because if not, my kidneys will fail and I will be on dialysis. And although through it has been researched and proven to be a fact, you fat checkers get into it. uh when you go on dialysis as a lupus patient, all the symptoms of lupus pretty much disappear, but they would disappear at the risk of me losing my kidneys not working anymore. That's not something I want. I would love for the lupus symptoms to disappear all at once. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to do it at the risk of my damn kidneys. I want them to continue to go to function as best they can. And that's another reason why I drink a whole lot of water. I like my Coke Colas. Don't get it twisted, bitch. I'm not perfect. I will get me on nasty six pack and fuck it up. But I will also buy my Aqua Panna in the 24 packs every 2 weeks. You see what I'm saying? So I'm ingesting a lot of water to flush my kidneys to keep them working. And I can tell when they don't work when I'm doing too much cold contributed from my kidneys being compromised. So as I'm now changing my diet once again and doing the things that I need to do to get the weight off because the pandemic happened. And y'all know everybody was out here overeating up in these houses during that pandemic. Child, I think I DoorDashed every day. The amount of money I spent on damn DoorDash, child, I probably could have probably bought me another vehicle. That's how much DoorDash we did in my household. So, that's what it was. And let me see what else I want to share. I explained about Ben Lister. I explained to y'all. Oh, skin conditions. Your skin gonna break out. If I take this makeup off, I have a butterfly shaped rash that goes like this from the tip of my nose out here. That is one of the first signs that you may actually have lupus. And I'm grateful that that doctor walked in to my hospital room that morning because I had been diagnosed with pneumonia and I actually didn't have pneumonia. A rheumatologist obviously was a friend, or they had some type of relationship with the doctor that was assigned to me at the hospital, walked in to say something to the doctor that was attending to me, and he looked at my face and he saw it, and he said, "Do you have lupus?" And I said no, because at that time I hadn't heard nothing about no lupus. I heard about lupus one time, and that was one years ago on One Life to Live. A lady died on One Life to Live, the soap opera of lupus. Never knew anything about it. Did not know that there was a history of it on my father's side. Had no clue, right? So when he saw that, he said, "Do you have lupus?" I said, "No." He said, "That rash across your face, that looks very similar to lupus." And he told my doctor to, run the necessary tests. Again, this is during the time where you don't get those results fast. You would fast. They actually had to do a whole bunch of blood work on me. And do y'all know they had to send it down to Baton Rouge, Louisiana to get the results, which means I was eventually released from the hospital, but I had to sit up for a week and wonder because my doctor said that it was pneumonia. When pneumonia was rolled out, was crossed out as an option, he then said lymphoma. So I sat up for a week at my house, having to go to work, still being a mommy and everything else, while wondering, is this going to come back that I have lymphoma? Of course, you're going to go over here to Al Gore's Good Internet and start looking the stuff up. That was at the beginning stages of the internet. So I did everything I saw about lymphoma was very, very scary to me. So I'm on pins and needles, praying, trying to, keep my face up in front of my peers, my people on at the job, my children, but inside I was just dying because I was scared. I thought something bad. I thought the worst. But I received a phone call about a week later, and I was set up to go to Louisiana State University Hospital to talk with a rheumatologist because my test came back that I had lupus. I was so fucked up, y'all. I had the lymphoma research had did it for me. I refused to go and try to research lupus. I said I would deal with it when I have to, because if I hear anything else, it's going to put me in a state of panic. And if I need to stay calm so that I'll be prepared to start this fight. Because one thing I knew for certain, lupus was lifelong. So I just chill. I tried to keep my mind focused. And on my first rheumatology appointment at Louisiana State University Hospital, that is now called Ochsner's Health, okay? I talked to the doctors. They explained to me what it was, what I was going to have to do. I was like, okay. It was a complete lifestyle change. But see, I had not really started to feel the effects of it. So I did things that I shouldn't do. Like If I ran out of medication, so be it. I may go 2 or 3 days without it. And then I would take it again when I go get the refills. I would go days where I forgot to take it because I was never pill dependent on shit before. I was a healthy, vibrant young mother doing my thing around here. I did not anticipate that failure to not do what I was supposed to do in the early stages is the reason why I went through so much difficulty within this disease. Okay. I was hard headed. I would miss appointments, bitch. If I woke up that morning and I had a choice between working and going to my doctor's appointment, I'm gonna take the job, even though I was in a position to where I could go to work whenever the fuck I wanted to. Okay. So I just didn't take it serious until I began to break out in these things that they call pus pockets. So, oh shit, I need to start taking them because pus pockets are very painful. They are little pockets that, like how you have whiteheads and stuff. That's the same thing. It's just bigger, and they are painful as hell. And when they pop, it's even worse. And see, I come from the school where we popped whiteheads. I was popping them things, and I was making it worse. I was scarring my skin and didn't even know it. And I also wasn't telling my doctor because I did not want to hear anything else bad. I did not want to get any more medication. So I would go to doctor's appointments and not tell him I got this big ass pulse pocket on the side of my stomach. I got the sometimes y'all it got bad, and this is what graphics. So if viewer discretion is advised, bitch. I'm finna tell you the truth today. We gonna shame some devils. We gonna shame every motherfucker that say that she's pretending. Because baby, I'm finna tell you some truth. These pus pockets broke out in places a woman don't want them. And I think I don't have to go no further with that for you to understand. Uh-huh. They broke out in places you didn't want them to be broken out in. And imagine, I got a man. He's still man. He expecting me to, like I used to. And bitch, I can't because that shit hurt. That's friction. So one night I ended up going to the doctor, and yes, for sure, and one was there. They had to lance it and pack it. Now, for you medical healthcare professionals, I don't think I need to go no further. If you're not a medical profession, get over there to that good Algor internet and look up what it is to pack something once they lance it. They actually cut into it, and they because it is where it is. You ain't even put no stitches down there. Not where it was. So you pack it with little bitty gauzes until it heals up. I was placed on medications to help me with that. Then, me still not wanting to accept my fate, what was happening with me, and do as I was instructed to do so that I could have a quality of life and learn to live with lupus instead of trying to live my life as if it didn't exist. I woke up one morning and decided to wash my hair. I ducked down over that sink and I was just laughing. Bitch, I was putting that motherfucking herbal essence to work. It felt good on my scalp. But I did not realize until I went to rinse and I looked down in the sink. My hair was in the sink. That took me out of my body like none other because I ain't knocking a bitch that wear wigs all the time, but I never wore wigs. My hair was shoulder length all my life. When it was short, it was because I was into the Anita Baker look. Okay, I remember when Anita Baker came out, I couldn't wait till I get my hair cut like Anita Baker. Bitch, I thought I was the shit. But then after a while, back then that was called bald head, bitch. If you ain't got the money and you ain't on TV, bitch, why is you bald head? So I grew my hair back out, and I took excellent care of my hair. I made sure that I always took care of my hair, and to have my hair, have my hair in that sink, did something to me psychologically and physically, because I lost it. I totally lost it for a while. And that's when I had to go sit in the chair and talk to the people. Because, like I tell you all the time, the brain ain't no different than any organ in the body. Bitch, when that motherfucker malfunction, you better get down there and get you something done. Losing my hair was like losing my mom all over again. I could not believe that now I have to try to figure out how can I go amongst people with patches of hair missing out of my head. I couldn't put no weave there because when I rinsed everything off, I saw the redness in the spots everywhere. So I said, I can't do that. So I'm a creative bitch. I started wearing head wraps, bitch. I put cute ones on and everything else. But I worked with somebody who kind of probably figured out something was different. And she started buying me wigs. She bought me a wig. She said, "Girl, I think this will look cute on you." Now, she wore wigs all the time. So I'm like, I started wearing them. When I saw that people were, cause see in my mind, I thought because I'm young, people gonna be looking at me like, bitch, what you doing with a wig on? Cause I'm used to the old granny wigs, like them old grayish. If they ain't all the way gray, they'll get them grayish wigs. You see the old women down to the church house in, and you just know it's a wig, but it's okay because she old as fuck, and it's okay. But see, here I am. I'm a young woman. I'm in my early 30s. I don't want this. I didn't know that there was a whole thing that was about to take over and had actually already been here all along. With some of these celebrities I thought had the most beautiful hair, bitch, they had on wigs. I didn't know that there were wigs that didn't make you look like a 70, 80-year-old woman. When my friend that I work with introduced that shit to me, that was my way out. So even as my hair began to grow back, I would have moments where I knew that it was going to fall out because I brush it often. And I could tell, okay, bitch, we going through a thing. Okay, and ain't no thing. Go over here and get this old badass wig, throw that bitch up on my head. So that's how I learned to be okay with it. And after a while, it got to the point where I don't have hair loss as often as I used to. But y'all, I have spent thousands. Cause I have quaffs y'all have never seen, bitch. I turn into a whole new bitch sometime. Ex my man, well you can't, cause he would never be on here. Girl, I turn into a whole nother bitch when I'm out with my friends and my man. I have my come fuck 'em wigs. I have my Beyonce, Sasha Fierce. That's my alter ego in the bedroom is Sasha Fierce. You know what I'm saying? I turn into a whole new bitch up in there. But anyway, girl, um, now I have so many wigs that I'm like, and some half of them ain't never even been seen on me on YouTube. If you caught me out in the public, a couple people see me down to the dollar store before recognize me from YouTube. We took a little picture. Girl, one time I met somebody at the motherfucking store. I was in the mall. Y'all remember Aeropostale? Y'all remember Aeropostale? That store. Child was down at that store one day, and a lady just was looking at me just like they always do. And I can pretty much tell when somebody done recognized me from somewhere. At first, before YouTube, people would stare at me because they would say they knew my mother. And I looked just like my mom. So they thought that, it was like, damn, I'm looking at somebody who I liked or we had a good friendship with, and it's like looking at a alive all over again in you. So after I started doing YouTube and I got a little popular, girl, I was in that Aeropostale store that day. I'm trying to find me a pair of James, girl. I wasn't in there trying to. I ain't nobody. I'm just a small fish in a big ass sea of motherfucking piranhas, sharks, and things of that nature, bitch. I am nobody. So this lady kept looking at me, and she finally just asked me. She said, "Are you Lady Nyca?" I said, "That is she. She is I." And she was like, "I watch her videos all the time." She said, "Oh, girl, I get some kiki out of you." She said, "At my job," she's a nurse. She worked at a hospital. She said, "Girl, on my job, we be turning you on at nighttime when all the patients down for the night, and we sit up at that nursing station and we get kiki off of your damn R&B divas reviews and your story times." I said, "Oh, now I'm feeding the motherfucking healthcare workers." She's like, "Girl, everybody up there, some of the people didn't even watch YouTube, but I've gotten them to come to YouTube just to subscribe to you." And I was like, "Oh, I felt so proud. I felt so proud." So we had a lovely talk because we wound up going to the food court and we sat there and we talked. And I was just like, I was weirded out because she was really acting like, y'all, she was acting like I was a celebrity. And that lady still follows me today. And girl, I ain't gonna put your name in them. I ain't gonna put your name in it. Cause I told you if I ever tell the story, I would never call you out so people think you weird. But I told you I was gonna tell this story one day. Child, do you know this lady took a napkin and asked me to sign the damn napkin? I said, "Sign it? You mean like an autograph?" She said, "Yeah." Girl, I did it, but that let me know I ain't ready for the big screen, bitch. It's all right for you to get to know me or meet me out there in the public. And at that time, I ain't have to give the warning that I give now. If you see me out in public, don't roll up on me. You identify yourself. Let me know if you friend or foe, and then you might can advance toward me. But if you just roll up on me, I always got that purse, and you better understand that I carry the peace that passes all understanding legally. So don't just roll up on me. Don't stare from a distance and just try to film me either. What you can do is you could just, say my name. Let me know. Just don't roll up on me thinking that you can hug on me and all this shit like that. Especially now that COVID round, child. I don't want you hugging all up on me. I got to be careful. Now you can, identify yourself and we might can give a little, side hug or something like that. But girl, don't just roll up on me. Auntie. No, bitch. No, 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 no. Don't do that because you might fuck around and I be done bopped you side your head. And when that purse hit that ground, I got that thing in my hand ready to fuck you up. Be careful when you approach me because I don't know you. Remember that. Don't matter how much you see me on YouTube, no matter how much you like me, please identify yourself before approaching me because something could go wrong. And that's my honesty right there. Please approach me with caution, okay? And identify yourself, baby. Even if you don't like my ass and you think you want some, let me know what it's hitting for, and that way I can take off that good wig and we can make it do what it do, even if it turns out to be that type of situation. Because bitch, remember I'm here for it all, okay? But she had me signing shit and stuff. Girl, that was weird. I've never experienced that again in my life. I've seen people that knew who I was. I've encountered people who say they know me from YouTube and they'll want a hug. A couple of them ask me to take a picture with them. But that's about far as it goes. I don't try to take it too far. But lupus ain't nothing to play with, y'all. It ain't nothing to play with. And if God came down right now and asked me, what is the one thing that I can change in your life that you would never have to deal with again, what would it be? And it would be me saying, take this lupus away because a lot has happened with this. It ain't been no walk in the park. It ain't nothing that I want y'all to be woe is me about. I would never use, that's why I get so offended when people say it. The way I have fought this bitch like a champion, for over 20 years now. How dare you think that I would ever use something that has taken the lives of many women and men around the world? Because lupus is not just USA bound. People in other countries catch this. It's more prevalent in Black women and Indians, Native Americans. But anybody can get it, even white America. I'm in lupus support groups with white women who don't know how to deal with these red patches all over their face. The beauty it for me was that I'm melanated, so you don't see the outbreaks as bad. But you are, I've been very transparent down here. I ain't never stopped making a video because my skin broke out. I came on here anyway and I gave you the best of me the best way I know how. And you can call me whatever the fuck you want to call me, but you ain't never gonna call me a victim, because I tell you each and every upload and every live, I got lupus. I stop allowing it to have me. And never would I ever want sympathy or your money over something that was my lot in life. I'm not that shallow of a person, and bitch, I'm not that goddamn broke, okay? If some of you only knew how I live, it would shatter your motherfucking perception, because you think I'm the worst of the worst. And I'm not. But I don't live to prove nothing to you. I'm here for the people who can see past the bullshit and see my heart. That's who I'm here for. And if the person wants to sow into me, I'm open to it. But don't you never feel like it's an obligation. My story don't have to make sense to you because it ain't your story. You either listen to it and take what you need from it for your own personal benefit, or bitch, click off of it. But what you won't do is try to take my story, not nobody else's story, my motherfucking story, and think you can write, you can author it. You can't author my story. Now you can ask me a question if you have some confusions, but don't ever think you can tell me about me, because don't none of y'all know me in real life. Half of y'all I wouldn't even talk to in real life. I deal with you because we're on an entertainment platform, and that is a part of my job. In real life, I'm not friendly. In real life, I do not show as much compassion to people as I do down here. But see, in order for you to have a somewhat successful platform, you have to open up your mindset to a lot of things. I am kind on here. I'm kind because I feel like I want to, not because I have to. I don't do certain things on here by choice. It's not because it's within, outside of the box for me. Half of the people I fuck with, I've been and cussed your ass out in real life. But see, I try to understand and I try to coexist. Me being friendly does not mean that we're friends. Me being cordial does not mean that I'm stupid. I'm far from stupid. I didn't get to almost 50 being no goddamn dummy. But I understand the nature of what I'm doing right now. And as I stated before, I know how to play this game. And you can say, oh, this ain't no game, this real life. No, the fuck it. It's real life, but it's a game. And whether you want to admit it or not, people be in competition on this bitch. People be mad at you because you doing some different from something that they wish they could do. Some of these people are beholden to acting a goddamn fool each and every single day because they depend on this to pay their bills. Thank God that is not my story. Has it been my story before? Yes. Is it my story today? Hell to the no. I can shut this shit down right now, and I promise you everything is going to remain the same for me. I'm here by choice. And when you can say that you're here by choice for real, and you know it in the pardon of your sin that you are really here by choice and not by force, baby, you look at things a lot differently. You didn't think that I knew that when um I changed my content, my views would go down. I understand that drama sells. I understand that it takes time to rebuild what you lost. I lost my other audience by doing the rah, rah, rah every day, day in and day out. I made a decision for me and for what's happening in my life to switch my content to something that I can be proud of again. Whether I get 1,000 views, one view, whether I have 30 people in my chat or 300 in my chat, as long as I can cut this bitch off and feel good about what I put into the atmosphere, that's the most important because I don't depend on this. I appreciate people that support me, but I'm not going to ever let this be something that I have to do again. And because I need it so bad, I'm going to do any and everything. I tell people on here all the time, you can have this shit. I'm not saying I'm getting on my platform. I'm just saying what you jealous about in me, you can have it. I'll gladly hand it over to you on a silver platter. You feel like you that I surpassed you and I'm doing better than you, and you upset with me about it, girl. I'm out the way. Go for it. Do what you need to do. Because I would rather put out content that I can be proud of than to be somebody's circus pony for clicks and views, or cash app or a motherfucking super chat. Ain't nobody gonna have that kind of power over me. And if this is what you depend on, I would suggest to you from one woman to the next who have actually depended on this before, you might want to outsource and find you something else. When I say that, I mean find you another stream. Because if this is all you have, you don't own yourself. The people own you. And the people are going to treat you like the circus act that you are acting like right now. Get up, get out, and get something for yourself beyond this. Because we really ain't making no money in this beach sector, even in the entertainment sector. We ain't making no hella money. We ain't on no Jake Paul and them type of situation going on over here. And even they fall down sometimes. Do stuff that makes you proud, that you can be proud of. If you are ashamed to tell people you have a YouTube channel because you don't want them to come and see what the fuck you over here doing, then that means you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're doing what the fuck you think you have to do. And you should never be beholden to a platform, a internet, a cyberspace platform. Because you can act like a donkey on this bitch. But I want to tell you, there are no 401ks coming from being a YouTuber. There are no health and vision and dental insurance available to you from doing YouTube. You get your monthly Google AdSense and whatever cash apps and the super chats is added in on the AdSense. You get your little cash apps or whatever. But at the end of the day, there is nothing else. Once you stop making content for this platform, this platform is going to stop paying you. And I just refuse to be a circus act for anybody else ever again. So I hope this clears up some things as it pertains to me with lupus. I hope you have a better understanding of the monster that I fight every single day. You know, if you only knew how much of a monster this truly was, anybody that says Lady Nyca's afraid or she's scary, bitch, or what? I've walked through the valley of the shadow of death and I ain't never felt no evil. I ain't never felt weak in my spirit. I ain't felt none of that shit. Because every time I come out of it victorious. Years ago, when I was told that I would have dementia in the mind by age 40, I defied the odds. And I think pretty goddamn well. When I was told I would be confined to a wheelchair, bitch, who? Who confined to a wheelchair, bitch? Who confined to a wheelchair? Not I. When I was told that I wouldn't live past 45 years of age, thank God, knock on wood, hmm, bitch, I'll be 50 years old in September. I have defied the odds on every diagnosis that was given to me. I am a true walking blessing and miracle. That's why I'm invited to go speak at lupus, local lupus conferences around my city and state. Act like you ain't never seen me upload that. I know y'all gonna do it because y'all love to take anything away from me. But what's for me is for me. You can't never take it away. And if I've inspired anybody to get them some 32 brand new teeth, I'm happy that I was able to be your inspiration, even if you hate me. If I inspired you to cut your camera on and motherfucker show yourself, I'm glad that I inspired you. If you have used my name to garner clicks and views that will put money in your pocket for whatever reason, I am glad to be the motherfucking catalyst to you being able to pay your bills. If you have used my name for YouTube popularity, you are welcome. I understand that to whom much is given, much is required. And I have been given a whole lot in my lifetime here. I am eternally grateful. So I understand the nature of this beast that we do. But if you really want to know me, ask me something. Don't assume. Because when you assume, you make an ass out of yourself every time. Because don't none of y'all really know the true Lady Nyca. You know what you think you know. And what you think you know is 9 times out of 10 utter bullshit. That's it. That was all I had to say. I just felt like getting some shit up off my chest today. And I thank everybody that will watch this because it's an upload. I thank you for watching. And remember, in closing, as always, you do not have to be great to get started, but at some point, you're going to have to get started in order to be great. And it is the depth of your struggle that will determine the ultimate height of your success. You guys have a wonderful week. Hopefully, I got a couple more days over there on the other channel. Girl, I did March Madness, a video a day every month for the month of March, and baby, I'm tired. So I'm gonna make sure I can complete the month out. And if you don't see me for a week or so, just know a bitch is living her best life. Okay, she living her best life, and I will return. So you all have a beautiful week ahead. I'll see you in these streets, and I'll see you on these channels. Peace.